Okay, in this video we're going to be talking about function notation. So we have independent and dependent variables. The independent variable is going to stand for your x-axis. The dependent variable is going to stand for your y-axis. X always depends on y and y depends on x. These equations represent functions often written in function notation. Okay, so an equation of y in terms of x, that can be written as y equals f of x. So y is the same thing as f of x in any of these situations. And the way we say it is how I've been saying it, f of x. Okay, so it's not f times x, it's a function of x. Think of it as a function of x. It's a way of saying, hey, we have this x, and it also represents y. Okay, so y is now going to look like this function of x, not f times x. It's a function. Okay, this screen got really messed up copying it in. Basically, what it's saying is if I have f of x equals 2x plus 1, and I'm trying to find f of 4, all I do is replace my x. Since my x is being replaced, I'm going to replace it in the problem and solve it. So f of 4 equals 2 times 4 is 8 plus 1 is 9. And then it creates a point, 4, 9. Okay, you could also see, like, anytime I have something, I'm going to replace it in the problem with it. Okay, so we're going to do them so it makes more sense. Okay, so my 5 is replacing my x, so I'm going to plop my 5 in every time I see an x. And anytime I take a letter out and put a number in its place, I always use parentheses. Okay, so I have 5 squared minus 3 times 5. I'm only going to solve the right side because this means a function. It does not mean f times 5. So the function, when it represents 5, okay, I now do my order of operations. Parentheses comes first. There's nothing to simplify my parentheses, so he's gone. Exponents. This now becomes 25. Okay, my next thing is to multiply. So 3 times 5 is 15. And then 25 minus 15 is 10. Okay, so my x value I plugged in was 5. My y value I got out was 10, because remember, this actually represents y. So the point is 5, 10. X value I plopped in was 5. The y value I got out was 10. Okay, my next one I'm plugging in -2. So h of -2 equals, I use parentheses when I take something out and put it in. Okay. In my order of operations, exponents come before anything else. Well, we can't simplify in our parentheses. So -2 cubed is -8. -8 plus 1 is -7. So the x value I put in was -2. The y value I got out was -7. Okay, so now we have to check to see if it's an f or a g, because I have an f and a g equation. So this first one is an f. So I'm going to do f of 3 equals, I replace that x, and then I simplify. So to simplify this, I just simplify my bottom. 3 plus 2 gets me 8. So I got 3 is my x value. My y value I got out was that ugly 5 over 8. Okay, we got another f equation. So f of -4 equals, now we're going to plug our -4 in. We simplify our fraction, so the bottom of it, -4 plus 2 is -2. So the x value I got in was -4. The y value I got out was that ugly fraction. Okay, so now I'm using the g equation, so the -2x plus 3. So g of -6 equals -2. I put it in parentheses because I take that x out. I plop the new number in. Okay, my order of operations, multiplication comes first in any of this. So -2 times 6 is 12. 12 plus 3 is 15. X value I put in was -6. Y value I got out was 15. Okay, this one's a little different. I got m's that I'm plugging in. So I'm plugging it into that fraction equation, the 5 over x plus 2. So f of m minus 2 equals, I still take out the x and replace it with m minus 2. And I still have that plus 2 on the bottom. So then I just simplify. -2 plus 2 on the bottom gets me 0. So that's my ugly y value. So my x value I put in was this m minus 2. The y value I got out was that 5 over m. Sorry, I skipped the bottom ones over here, so I'll go back to them. So we're going to plug this into my g of x equation. So g of 1/2 equals -2 in parentheses 1/2 plus 3. Negative 2 times a half is negative 1. Negative 1 plus 3 is 2. So I plopped in 1/2. I got 2 out in its place. My next one here, we're plopping in negative 2 to my f of x equation. So 5 over negative 2 plus 2. Negative 2 plus 2 is 0. Anytime I have 0 on the bottom, it says error in my calculator. So my answer for this is it's an undefined point. You can't do it. Okay, let's finish up this. Now I have an equal sign. So what I'm going to do is take that f of x equation and set it equal to 3. So my f of x equation was 5 over x plus 2. I'm setting it equal to 3 because I am giving you the y value and we need to find the x value this time. So if I wanted to solve this, I need to get rid of that ugly fraction. So the opposite of dividing is multiplying, so we're going to multiply both sides by x plus 2. And you multiply that entire x plus 2 and that 3. So 3 times x gets me 3x. 3 times 2 gets me 6. And then we're going to solve regularly. So I'm going to subtract 6 to get negative 1 and divide by 3. So I get my x to be negative 1/3. So I got 1/3 and then my y value this time was 3. So we're going the opposite direction. Okay, now we're going to do the g equation. So we're going to set this equal to my g equation. So I'm going to subtract 3 to get negative 8. Divide by negative 2 to get 4. So my x value is 4. That's why it says x equals 4. My y value is that negative 5.